Fades to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Welcome to Patriots Touchback Podcast.
Who are you?
I'm no one.
I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
The dark side. A Jedi. They're real.
The Force. It's calling to you. Just let it in.
Gentlemen, we've gone and done it. Welcome to another fucking Super Bowl! Welcome everybody to the Patriots Touchback Podcast. It is, of course, season 3 episode of Roster. My bear is now season 3 episode 53. We are here live in living color. The New England Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. We have come off the back of a gritty, snowy, and very, very ugly 10-7 victory over the Denver Broncos. And this is what everything is all about of the season that we've just had. Nothing but hating, nothing but being put down, nothing to say we've been good enough. It's just the Patriots way. It's just what we do. We got DJ and we got Kieran on board for tonight. We've got a lot to unpack for this game, even though the scoreline don't suggest that, but there is a hell of a lot to speak of. Smash the like button, spike the subscribe button, tell all your friends, and follow us on social media platforms. Make sure you follow the podcast on Spotify and on Apple as well. And we also do have a little bit of plug-in to do tonight. So if you see on your screen right now, the New England Patriots UK fan club, they are going to be doing a watch-along at the Station Master in Marylebone. Sorry, DJ, I put that in front of your face there. In front of the Station Master in Marylebone in London. £20 per person. It's no entry fees, basically to cover the food and the buffet and that. So make sure you get yourself on that. And for all you fellow Patriots fans over here in the United Kingdom, if you're around the London area, this is a party you want to go to. There's a possibility that some of us will be going as well. The link for this is down in the description below. It's on their Facebook page. So the link is down there. Click on that and it will guide you to where you need to go. And so on. Obviously, the email is there as well. patsoninlondon@gmail.com. That's where you go for all your inquiries. And obviously, if you fancy going, then just give them a shout out. But yeah, big up to them. Thank you very much to UK Patriots fan club for allowing us to do a little bit of plugging for the event, which is happening next Sunday. Gentlemen, how are we doing on this celebratory championship Monday?
Oh, yeah.
I've got one word for you boys. One word for you boys. You know where I'm going with this. Someone get the glass bottles. Warriors. Where that's come from, I don't know. But I love it. I think
Mac.
it's just, I just love daft shit.
I think either that or I think Mac Hollins might have said something along those lines.
No,
Because
there was a
someone
film.
was it a
There's a film
film?
and there's a song. Yeah, I don't know where it's come from, but I'll grab it. But there's definitely a song, and he's sitting in a car, and there's some guys outside of his car, and he's rattling around with these bottles things. We are warriors. We're coming out to play. And he's like, ding, ding, ding. I'm gonna get the clip.
Chat, help us out here. Put us in the chat. What do you think that was? What film it was? What song that was?
It was.
Got a couple people in the chat already. Who's your Patriots fan? Ring with the eyes. Yes, indeed. Dougie is in the building as well. Let's effing go, boys. I'm a little rough today, so I have not had that much of my rum left. Well, I bless you, mate. And he goes, The Warriors is a cult classic. Oh, it was called The Warriors. Okay, fair enough. It was definitely a cult classic.
The film was actually called The Warriors. Yeah.
Well, we acted
and played.
We acted to play like Warriors in the AFC Championship game. The scoreline, unfortunately, doesn't do it any justice. 10-7. Now, people will be wondering, well, 10-7, was it a very defensive display? It was a very defensive display. However, it had some of the worst conditions going you could possibly think of. Well, it didn't really start until the second half, so we're going to start off with how it all, how it all transpired in the end. First things first, I will say this: Denver came out. Always they come out the traps flying, but obviously they had a 3-and-out. We had a 3-and-out. They had their touchdown drive, so we're going to start with a touchdown drive. Denver had a penalty, which was illegal touching. There was a loss of down on there. Had the incompletion, and then I put a tweet out the other day. Well, I tweeted out during this game, and it was when Gonzo decided now was a good idea to give up a 52-yard pass. Of all the worst in the world, I'm thinking, oh, please, Gonzo, don't turn into Tuukka Rask in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, please. Don't do that for me. Because I'm a Bruins fan. And obviously, then it was 1-yard run, and then the 6-yard touchdown pass, Stidham to Cortland Sutton from 6 yards. That second drive that they had, that hit me by surprise. Was not expecting at all for Stidham to literally throw a deep ball. If there's one thing I've said, we never ever do give up the deep ball. All the players we had to give it up to had to be bloody Jared Stidham, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that was the way that they needed to come out. I think they knew that they had a backup quarterback, and I think even though they went 3-and-out the first round, I think Sean Payton, he wanted Stidham to feel a bit comfy and to show that actually they've got a deep ball game going on, and they didn't fear it or at all. And that's what happened in that drive. I felt that there was occasions where I did feel that he misplaced the passes here and there, because it just felt like a bit was out of sync. And if he would have converted on those couple of plays, I think they could have gone for a massive amount of yards, because we were about to play on those couple of things. Screen, and there was a pass, I can't remember who it was going to on the side, where he had them wide open. I think it was Mims. He had a lot of room to run through if he would have got through there with that pass. So I think they tried to come out flying all cylinders, but they knew at the end of the day it wasn't going to be that gameplay. So the running game definitely wasn't a subject for them to counteract with us against. So yeah, that's the feel that I kind of got. And then obviously the weather then came into a massive play into everything.
Yeah, it didn't really come in until around about the start of the second half. So I go as far as to say the next 3 drives was punt by us, so 6 plays as a punt, 7 plays by Denver punt, and then we went 3-and-out. And then Denver had one of the most convincing drives going. They had 11 plays, 43 yards, and they went all the way down the field up until 4th and 1. 9 minutes 22
One drive.
seconds to
Yeah.
go on the second quarter. Now,
I think there was a mistake there. I would have gone 10 up.
by who? On Peyton or on
Peyton, yeah, I think it's Peyton's ball game. Although he did try to then back up what he tried to do. I think he said that we were coming in a heavy 6-2 or 6-1, and the run play was probably quite the play to go for there, but they didn't go for that. But being in that situation, in that environment, in the playoffs, and where you're on the field, I would have probably gone 10 up.
I think in those high pressure situations, sometimes teams can be guilty of playing a bit too cute, and that definitely what that was. Yeah. Like DJ just said, it's almost like they expected the run, so us to sell out for the run, and they thought that we'd be expecting a run, so they decided to get cute, and it completely backfired. And I think that was the first of two really crucial mistakes from Sean Payton, where that time he should have kicked it, and later in the game he shouldn't have kicked it when Will Lutz came out for a kick. So he got two crucial field goal decisions wrong, which ultimately could have swung the game. But yeah, that was a bit of a bizarre call, especially when you could take a 10-point lead at home, even if the weather doesn't change in that situation. You have a similar weather situation to what you've had in the first half. For Denver having a 10-point lead at home with that defense, and the fact that we were struggling to move the ball early on, I think is enough of a factor regardless of the snowstorm hitting. So yeah, that was a critical error.
Yeah.
So I would look at it more as, I would probably look at this more like, so you see in the NBA, sometimes when it reaches in the normal season, you see everyone just go for threes all the time. In the postseason, when you're trailing or you're in the lead, you don't need to shoot threes. You need buckets, you need layups, you need like 2-pointers, just so you can stay ahead of the curve. I think fancy analytics now have got so much involved with all these coaches going for on fourth down. It is literally now they are just giving up, not taking the points anymore. And I think this is why smart coaches will always take the points. There was a play where we got down the field in the third quarter. We managed to get down the field, but we could only make it via field goal. But it was 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. I think we were stuck at. But instead of Vrabel going for it, he decided, no, I'm kicking the points, because guess what? I respect Denver's defense. So guess what? We're just going to take the points.
Yeah,
it's just not, you don't outcoach yourself. You don't outthink yourself. You always have to be the common sense person in this, where it's like, okay, if we go for it, there's a good chance that could happen what Denver had back in the second quarter. Or do we kick the points now and just play it safe? And sometimes playing it safe is the better option, especially when you fully trust your defense to hold down the fort for the remaining of the game.
That's where I think the mistake happened. Is I think Peyton knew that Stidham will probably not be able to fulfill what Bo Nix can, or the gameplay that they wanted to do. In his head, he was like, I've got an opportunity to go up 14-0 at home with this defense. And I think he just got aggressive, and he just overthought things and thought, if I can convert this for a touchdown, I know I'm 14 up. Stidham can make a couple of mistakes and still be 14, or whatever the case may be. I just think they went over aggressive on certain and underestimated what our defense could have done.
Yeah, I completely understand the conundrum from their perspective, because like you just said then, like if you go 14 points up in an AFC Championship game at home, the defense you've got, you don't really need Stidham to do an awful lot more for the remainder of the game. So I can see why they called it. It just turned out to be a really critical mistake in that situation.
Yeah. So during the second quarter, obviously Denver then had their drive, but this was the fumble. It was a 5-yard run, incompletion, a 5-yard pass, 5-yard run, only a 1-yard run, And then it was 3rd and 4 at Denver's 33. New England ended up bringing the house. Stidham got sacked at the Denver 14 by Christian Ellis. It was fumbled, and Christian Ellis got the strip sack and recovered by Elijah Ponder. Now, a lot of people were saying, why the hell was that not a touchdown?
Exactly. I didn't know why the game stopped.
Because the referee blew the whistle. That means the play's dead. I think it's at that point it's a live ball. It's a live ball. You play until the end of the play and then go back for the review. Personally, it didn't matter in the end because 2 plays later Drake May ran it in for a touchdown. So in the end, no harm, no foul. But we've had issues with the officiating. If there's one issue with officiating in this game, it was that decision there. I would have thought if there's a fumble, the referee would just swallow the whistle, let the game play out, and then go and do the review, and then at least go to the booth.
Well, I think there was more doubts that if he actually
it was a forward
pass, or was it a backward or was it a forward?
So he tried to push it armwards. A lot of people were saying, but that looked like a forward pass. It's really difficult to see because he's trying to push it and lean it back at the same time.
We did that similar in the 4th quarter where he just fucking chucked it forward to someone.
I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback do that under pressure before. Genuinely, that was such an anomaly. We've all been watching this sport for a long time. I have never seen a quarterback attempt to dispose of the ball whilst in the process of taking a sack and almost push the ball with 2 hands away. That seems like something that kids would do at Pop Warner level. I've never ever seen that. Yeah. And I cannot believe that they thought the ball went forward. And even at first, before they decided to change their minds.
Well, they said it was intentional grounding, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking, at no point does that ball ever travel forward. How have they come to that decision? And it didn't even really go to a booth review. They just kind of changed their minds on the field and went to the correct decision. That, if that had been called as a forward pass, that'd have been ridiculous.
No.
So it ended up with New England and then getting the touchdown on the drive, a 6-yard pass to Booty. It was a target against Riley Moss. And then obviously there was Drake May runs it in from 6 yards, run it in on his own. Borgars can kick the PAT and we're at 7-7. So far all is well. 2 punts they won by both Denver and then the Patriots, and then back-to-back missed field goals by both teams. Now,
that's when it flipped.
Will Lutz had a 54-yarder. That was a difficult one for him to get hold of. And he missed it. And then New England had the missed field goal. An incompletion, a 5-yard penalty, another incompletion. And on 3rd and 15, Drake May scrambles and gets the yardage. He gets in just outside of field goal range. So it was going to Beauregard with a 63-yarder. It would be his longest field goal. And shanking it doesn't even come close to what he did. It just went. It just went wide left. It was not it. Sorry, it was wide. Yeah, it was wide left. He just hooked it. He hooked it so badly.
I reckon on a normal day in Denver altitude, that would have gone through easy.
On a normal day with a little bit of wind, a tiny bit of breeze, that would have actually possibly. So then we get to start the 3rd quarter. It started with a very good drive. Our best drive we've actually had all game. 16 plays, 64 yards. The best part of that play is a 12-yard run by Ramondre Stevenson. So it looked like we were starting to run the ball better, which was actually very, very helpful. And then Drake May scramble for a 28-yard run, which was great. A 9-yard pass to Hunter Henry. For 9 yards, that was 3rd and 10. So he was 1 yard shy. They ran it again. I believe this was the dubious. Did he get over the plane or not? Yes or no? This is when they put in 2 defensive linemen. I think they put Tonga and
Williams
as pushers in the back, and yet we just about got it. Although
they brought them out and then they called a timeout and they brought out the same formation again.
Yeah.
They didn't really push either.
That was shit.
I was doubting myself to see if that was actually over the line or not.
I was down myself as well because the sky cam didn't do it justice and the actual thing. Although I have looked at the sky cam in a lot more closer detail, I'll be very honest. I don't think he got there.
I think Drake's 2 feet are down, knees are like way behind the line, but I'm not gonna mind.
Digital Patriot fan saying I saw he got over the line because his knees never touched the ground. It just didn't look like it from the sky cam view. I mean, I could be wrong. I really, really could be wrong on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of them. We were all saying it in our group chat at the time. Like, it was so borderline, and you couldn't tell either way whether he was across or not, depending on what camera angle it was. But there was not enough. There was nothing conclusive to overturn it. The fact that it was called on the field is a huge thing, because if that had been called the other way, then there's no way we overturn that to get a first down. So the fact the refs called it, there just was not enough evidence to overturn that. It was just so inconclusive. So you've just got to stay with your decision on the field. I mean, ultimately, it only led to a chip shot field goal, and yes, okay, that chip shot field goal won the game, but
it was the third quarter, and the snow was coming down at that point. And to be honest, kicking a field goal in that blizzard that was coming down, that would be near enough impossible. It's a chip shot. It looked like monsoon. It looked like the Mud Bowl, not the Mud. The Mud Bowl game between the Steelers and Miami in 2007, I think it was, where it just rained and rained and rained, and the conditions were just so bad. And the one play where they punt the ball and the ball just goes, just splats in the ground. Yeah. That's kind of what it felt like in this game. But obviously it was snowing. But this was not. But the third or the fourth quarter, I'll just go you through the list now. It was a punt. Then we had the missed field goal. Where was the missed field goal? It was Beauregard. It was a 46-yarder. So it was basically the same as what Lutz had in the second quarter, and he hooked it wide right again. This was basically from that point forward. This is easy. Next.
Is that when we chipped it?
That was when we tried.
Did we chip the? Did Leonard not chip the Lutz field goal?
No. It's coming into the fourth quarter now. So on the fourth quarter, it was Denver 3 and out. Us 4 plays out. 6 plays punt by Denver. We had 3 and out again. Then was the missed field goal, minus a 3-yard run. 0 yards pass, 8-yard run, and then it was the blocked field goal, 45-yard field goal. That was when Leonard Taylor. I tell you what, Richard Seymour would be absolutely proud of him, because obviously Seymour wore 93 and Leonard Taylor's wearing the number 93 jersey. Seymour would have been absolutely proud of him for making the tip, and that was critical as well, because if he doesn't get that, that's probably going through the uprights.
Could be, yeah.
But still, I think that was the wrong decision given the conditions anyway. And you can say, whether or not the tip happened to may not go in, but that was still 46 yards. I'm not convinced, that you can't say for certain that was going to go through. I think Denver was silly to kick the ball in that situation anyway. I know, obviously, we were fortunate enough to get the tip, but I think with the weather how it was, 46 yards is still a substantial distance in those conditions. The fact they didn't go for that on fourth down is a little bit worrying for them anyway. I think Peyton should have gone for that. And
then we had a 3 and out again, and then this was the game-sealing interception. And of all season, we've said Gonzo hasn't got an interception. Gonzo hasn't got an interception all season. He comes up with the most crucial one of the lot, even though that ball was way under hit and it floated in the air like it was just a cloud. It was just...
At that point, I think they needed to do something. And if they had to lob it up, then they had to lob it up and expect the best, because I think there was nothing they were going to be able to do. They couldn't run the ball. Yeah. Passing was out of this world. They can't kick a field goal. It was just... I think by that time it was just chancing things.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying with that, but Tony Romo literally called this out on the commentary that on the play immediately prior to that, Stidham had a look.
He'd had one open,
for Mims one-on-one with Gonzalez and decided to back out of it because it wasn't on. But I don't think it was on the second time either. But he's just thrown it up for grabs and it's just gone like literally straight into Gonzo's hands, underthrown. So, like, it's almost like we baited them to do it again, and they took the bait on the second one.
These are the yardage, right? I mean, obviously, so we got the interception, and then New England got 6 plays. We got a first down. It got to 3rd and 7. Not 3rd and 7, sorry. Where was it? 7-yard run by Drake May. At 3rd and 5, New England's 41. They get the first down here. It's game over. And credit to Drake May for this one, because this was not planned. This was not called by Josh McDaniels or Mike Vrabel, or the offense didn't know what he was doing. He did this off his own bat, where he just completely changed the play and said, right, that's it. I'm just running to get to the pylon on this one, or run to the sticks rather. And he got that 5-yard gain, and that was it. That was all she wrote. I just want to. It's quite embarrassing. It is quite embarrassing, really. So these are the plays that happened. Apart, if you take away the touchdown that Denver had, right? So at the time they had 66 yards offense. This is what they had next on these next column drives: 22, 43, minus 5, 14, 15, 6, 3, 17, 5, 1. Those were all your yardage in it. This game was not about who can make the best plays. This was not about who can devise great scheming and that. This was about survival. This was man versus the wild out there. It was a case of who the hell's going to fuck up the least. That's basically all it came down to in that second half. And we would say this: credit to Drake May, because what did we say in this preview? Do not turn the ball over under any circumstances. And credit to Drake, he held on to that ball like it was his newborn baby. He actually kept hold of it beautifully. The downside, though, he forgot to play quarterback.
Yeah,
he was playing for me, he was playing very gun shy. He wasn't the same. He wasn't good. He didn't look right.
He was very nervous early on. You could tell that there are quite a few miscues, quite a few wayward throws, and obviously in the latter stages of the game, there was no chance he was doing anything through the air really. I mean, credit to him, he did pull out 2 really nice throws to Matt Collins that were chunk plays that got us down the field. But yeah, you could tell he was playing within himself. PFF actually charted him with having, of the 5 sacks he took, they gave him 3 of them for holding the ball too long. I think that's been something he has been guilty of this season.
They're like coverage sacks, so they're saying.
Coverage sacks,
because there's no one open. You just fall on it. That's it.
Yeah.
Take it.
So I think, by no means his best performance, but made 2 or 3 key plays when it mattered most. It was not a quarterback-driven game. Jarrett Stidham, aside from 2 passes in the game, really did very little, and it just developed into a game where it was going to be, you need your defense to get you over the line, and ultimately, like I said, like on my social media, and I spoke to a Broncos fan about this last night. I said, I genuinely don't think you can analyze this game too much. I just think we were in a position where we had a lead, we had something to defend, and like we were just fortunate that we had that lead to defend when the conditions got really severe, and it became evident that you were not going to get hardly any offense at all. So
is that not been the case in the last 3 games where you've had to, for your defense to really pull you out of to get the win? Because that Texas games, I think the defense did pretty much all of it with the turnovers and as such. Here again, I think the D, because of the weather conditions again, I think there was not much in it that Denver were going to be able to do anything on the offensive side of the ball. Then the Chargers, Drake probably performed a bit better, but I don't know. Just going into this game now, it's going to be.
I mean, it's going to be completely different because you're not going to get a snowstorm. You're not going to get a rainstorm. There's going to be nice weather.
The coldest is going to be. I'll use American temperature here. It's 49 degrees. The warmest it's going to get is 69. But it's perfect.
Is it in a dome or it's not a dome?
No. It's Levi. It's Levi Stadium. No, it's outside. It's outside. It's outside, no roof.
But yeah, I don't think that either team. I think
Drake plays better out in the wall, but that's my.
Yeah,
he's got to adjust to that because he's playing in Foxborough. So
yeah, I know.
I think considering how the game developed with the conditions and the fact there was just such a lack of offense from both teams because of those conditions, I don't think you could have complained either way who would have won that game. Like I genuinely think like you just hold your hands up and say, fair enough. We had a lead before it become a blizzard, and we basically just went balls to the wall defensively and we held on. If they'd have done that, I think you just accept it. It was because all analysis goes out the window when you're playing in the snow like that. So yeah, I don't think Denver can feel hard done by. I don't think if we'd have lost, we should have felt hard done by. It was just one of them things, and we were just on the right side of it this time around.
Yeah.
So Drake May stats was 10 of 21, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Passer rating of 58.8, QBR of 62.6. The conditions cause problems, but I have already seen people turn around and say that, he's playing in the snow, no excuses, that and the other. There was, I believe, a game between the Rams and the Eagles. I'm not sure what it was. I think it might have been last year, actually. Not this season, the year before, where it did snow in Philadelphia quite badly, and apparently Stafford still threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game. But Drake's not used to this. So I'll give him the benefit. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll give the benefit of the doubt on this one. Running the ball. Drake nearly rushed for more than what he passed. He had 65 rushing yards on 10 total attempts. What did I say in the group chat? I said I think Drake May's gonna have to start playing like a glorified running back here because we're not moving the ball in the air, and that's what it ended up becoming for Drake. Ramondre Stevenson,
he's been the best QB all season to do it.
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson had 25 carries for 71 yards. It was 3 yards a carry, if that. Trayvon Henderson, very, very limited.
He played 4 snaps.
He played 4 snaps.
Yeah.
Not great at all. Receiving game. Mac Hollins. We talked about how important it was he was returning, and he got the most yardage out of all the receivers. 2 receptions, 51 yards. That beautiful throw by Drake, that teardrop was spot on for him. Stephon Diggs, 5 receptions, 17 yards. Hunter Henry, 2 receptions for 12 yards. He got targeted 3 times. He dropped a freaking third down there, which really annoyed me. Booty, 1 reception, 6 yards. Demario Douglas and Roger Stevenson got targeted, but they never caught anything.
I thought we would have targeted Moss a bit more than what we did. I don't know who he was going to cover in.
I'm surprised.
I think it was more Diggs, maybe, because I think Surtain was more on Butte. Every time Drake tried to go on that long, deep one-on-one, I thought Surtain was the better cornerback on that part. So I couldn't really take much from Butte. But I don't know where Moss was kind of like hanging around. I don't know if he was around Diggs or he was like paying more coverage. But I think we would have maybe targeted a bit more.
They sat and I thought Patrick Surtain just showed what an unbelievable player he was. He just completely locked down one side of the field, and obviously you want to go after Moss a bit more, but I just think it was just they were sat in such a deep zone, and we were intent on trying to establish the run and take the short gains. I mean, Stephon Diggs having 5 receptions for 17 yards must be the smallest yards return off of 5 receptions you'll ever see. But I think just Denver just done a good job of just containing our passing game and using those conditions to benefit them defensively. But one thing that they didn't get, I know there were 5 sacks in the game from their perspective, and like I said, PFF gave 3 of them to Drake May, but they only had a 17% pass rush win percentage. They really didn't get home as often as you would have thought. Okay, yes, they did get home opportunities because Drake May took sacks, like fair enough. But They weren't swarming. They weren't swarming us. We got a lot more pressure on Jarrett Stidham than they got on Drake May. And I wanna praise Will Campbell. He didn't have a clean game because he missed that cut block, and there was a miscommunication on one play where May got blown up on an incomplete pass, where if he'd got his assignment correct, then we might have had a nice play come off of that. That was early in the game. But I think in terms of in pass protection, to go up against Nick Benito, to have a clean sheet, not give up a sack, and actually look pretty good for the majority of the game. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't perfect, but it was much better than what we've seen. And Benito is more than capable of giving him a nightmare. I think that was a real positive that we saw a bounce back performance from Will Campbell.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was more Wilson and Bradbury that held up a bit more of a inside rush than.
Well, one of the sacks come off Moses, which is not something we've seen a lot of this year. But Cooper completely, done Moses. But yeah, there was a bit of stuff coming up the middle. But for Campbell, considering the struggles he's had in the last 2 games, for him to go up against a rusher that had 14 sacks, that has one of the best get-offs in the league. Also, Carl, we spoke about potential false start penalties. He did have one, but I think if you just said coming into the game, considering the environment and how loud it is and running with the silent, you have one false start, you'd take that all day long.
And do you want to know something? That was our only penalty we had all game.
Yeah.
That is about as clean of a game as we've ever played.
Yeah.
On the road as well. So fair play to him. But yeah, I was like, as soon as I saw him jump, I'm like, oh, Will. just missing the false start penalty there. But we've left the best till last, okay? Because we can talk about how the offense was a little bit putrid. It didn't move the ball due to the weather, and Denver's defense just shellacking us down. This New England defense is not getting the credit that it deserves on the outside. It is just simply not. We've given up 3 points to the Chargers. We've given up 16 points to the Texans. And we've now only given up 10 points to Houston. Sorry, 7 to Houston. Beg your pardon. We've given up 26 points in 3 playoff games. That's an average of 8.8. I think it was like 8.7 points a game. It's just unheard of. And this defense has come to fight. It's come to play. We had 7 QB hits in that game. And we also managed to get 3 sacks as well. Christian Barmore blew up a play. Christian Ellis got the sack, obviously it led to the fumble. And Gonzalez even got a sack as well. I can't remember when that was, actually.
No, I can't remember.
But he is one of blitz off the corner. But our corners in the tackles, Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez, 7 total tackles. 4 of them was 4 solo for Carlton, 5 for Christian. He also got a tackle for loss and a pass deflection as well. Marcus Jones again on form. Jack Gibbons, who stepped up for Robert Spillane when he went down with he might have reoccurred his ankle again. So we need to see how bad that's going to be. But I tell you what, Gibbons came in and really put in a shift. Really, he also had the green dot on his helmet that made him the signal caller.
Craig Woodson, outstanding once again.
4 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 pass deflection. This rookie, I was a bit worried about this rookie safety to start because he was getting caught quite a lot. But as the season's gone on, as we said, he's just got better and better and better. And you can't really deny that. Christian Ellis had a great game as well. I love Christian Ellis. He's so underrated.
He's in the conversation for defensive postseason MVP for us, I think. These playoff games, Christian Ellis has been on an absolute heater all 3 games.
All over the place. Yeah.
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 Kyrus Tonga as well had his day. He even got a sack as well, big boy sack as well.
I saw a video footage, Tonga. He pushed a fucking lineman into the running back to stop the running back. It was crazy. You should see that footage. It
was like a 3-on-1 handicap with the big show.
He just pushed him right into the guy.
I mean, what's fantastic about it is it is a complete compliment.
It's his awareness.
and it's team defense, because yes, we have our stars on that side of the ball, right? Everyone knows about Gonzo, Milton Williams, the season that Chase On's had, and Barmore, but you're getting contributions from Leonard Taylor on special teams. Corey Durden early in the game blew up the middle. You had, Jennings has been consistent. Christian Ellis, Elijah
names
Ponder.
all over the place. Yeah,
you're getting players step up. Everyone is contributing to this defensive side of the ball. And you look at the personnel, and it isn't on paper the most talented defense in the NFL, but we rightly belong here because they are playing as good as the defenses that we are playing against. Because I also think as well, because they're being discounted, and Christian Gonzalez referenced this, and so did Milton Williams, is that they're hearing this noise about us being disrespected on that side of the ball, and it's giving them fire, and they've
extra chip on the shoulder to come in. Yeah.
If people want to keep slagging us off, saying that it's all living a charmed existence, then so be it, because these lot are going to come after you in the Super Bowl, and they're going to have to play another huge game for us to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Lots of different ones. Milton Williams had a bit of a quiet game, but he did have 2 QB hits. So he was getting a lot of pressure on that interior of the offensive line of the Broncos there. That's meant to be one of the best offensive lines in the game, and Barmore and Williams was just blowing it up on a consistent basis.
Barmore absolutely.
I wonder if the Broncos would I wonder if Broncos were doubling Milton on some occasions as well, because they knew.
Well, people have been. Offensive lines have been doubling up on Milton Williams. So guess what? It's not making a blind bit of difference, because Barmore's just getting a free run at the quarterback then. But we've got a shout out to special teams as well. We've had a white wind for the last, month and a bit or so. How badly special teams have not been particularly great. Brendan Schooler. He had some nice tackles on the punt returns. He was a lethal weapon. What he had two total tackles, two solos. Beg your pardon. He had a great game as well. The one person who didn't really have, and Andy regardless, only 1 of 3 on this field goals. I'm not going to go I'm not going to go really hard on the kid. That was some tough conditions to kick it. Even Adam Vinatieri would flipping struggle. Prime Adam Vinatieri would struggle to kick in those conditions. Yeah. They were rough.
Same as with Barringer as well. I felt that he muffed a couple of punts. He did have a rough game, but again, does that because you got to take into consideration the weather conditions. I thought he struggled earlier on in the game as well, not just when.
I'll be honest. I think Bryce Barringer hasn't been very good all season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't think he's been good at all. I think that's someone that we're probably going to go. One of our 6th round picks or 5th round picks. We're probably going to go and get a punter. I need to speak to my good friend Freddie Harper Davis, because he loves punting. So here, mate, what punters?
He's going into the final year of his contract next year. I wonder whether they.
It was a Belichick pick as well. So
he's not been great.
Notice this as well, right? Vrabel has gutted a lot of the team to what he wants it to be. There's only a very few players that remain on this roster which has stayed under the Belichick, which is obviously Stevenson, Hunter Henry,
Marcus Jones,
Demario Douglas, Christian Gonzalez,
there's quite a few.
Booty, Onwenu.
There was a few.
Barmore,
Tavai,
Mapu, yeah.
It's less than 15 players. There's probably less than 15 players behind. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more casualties in the off-season from that regime, because I think he's trying to gut them out one by one. However, there have been a number of players here that actually do deserve to keep put. Barmore is one of them.
Schooler.
I think Schooler, Booty. Well, he needs to get paid, but we have to also pay Gonzo as well. And apparently our cap space saying we've got 38 million in cap space. So we might have to make a sacrifice. But I would, honestly, and I know Booty's done well, but I generally think you can actually look for something in the draft, maybe, or because I don't think we're going to get someone like a George Pickens. He's going to go somewhere high. He's going to go somewhere very, very high.
I don't want Pickens.
I think you can. I'd re-sign Booty because he's still only 23. Like he's not even 24 yet, and he's been productive when we've targeted him. I don't think he's going to cost you that much. Okay, he's earning peanuts, right, as a 6th round pick going into the final year of his contract. So he's on a very cheap deal right now, but he's not going to command top of the market money or anywhere even remotely close to it. I think you can get him on a pretty affordable deal, but obviously he's going to want to get rewarded, might get a nice sign-in bonus, but I think you have to try and extend him for if he's not even 24 yet, try and get him extended on a 4-year contract and just obviously give him a nice payday, but not one that's going to break the bank because he's not going to get paid like George Pickens is. We're talking
guarantees.
Pickens is going to get a monstrous contract. Booty's going to get nowhere near that.
I prefer to bring in someone like
incentive laden as well.
Alec Pierce to go. I would let Pop go. And I'll bring in Pierce. And
Pierce is going to get paid reasonably well. I think he gets more than Booty, obviously, but
Booty ain't going anywhere. Very
going to come down.
So.
Player-friendly deals, like who's going to want to stay and play for this team and not ask for amounts. But
what did you make of Stidham's performance? 17-31, 133 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He got sacked 3 times, a QBR of just under 20, passer rate of 63. I'll say this: about the 2 plays that he got, by the touchdown and also the big 52-yarder we got to Mims. Apart from that, I think the defense clamped him down.
Yeah, but you need to think the scenario that he's been in. He's been put through. How many games has he played? 4 in his entire career. He's been thrown in the deep end, basically. I think he's been given a very simplified playbook to go by. I thought he did all right at the beginning, to go through those couple of drives and to go down the field and get a touchdown, go 7-0 up. Had an opportunity to go 14-0. I don't think for what he's been asked to do, I don't think he did particularly bad in the scenario that he's been put in. And at the end of the day, I do think he is a decent backup. That's who he is. I really do not see he as a starter in any other team, to be honest. I think he's now gone a bit. How old is he now? 26, 27, 28?
29, probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
29,
I really don't think he's going to excel anymore to what he is unfortunately. But I actually, not that I felt sorry for him, but I thought he was thrown into a scenario that he probably wasn't prepared for or ready for.
And I think it's hard to have. I mean, look, he did exactly kind of how I thought you would get from him, which is you're going to get some good and you're going to get some bad. And I think that's just the reality of being a backup in that situation. But it is really hard to evaluate when the conditions were as they were. Second half more so, but still in the first half, it was still snowing. It was still windy. I think it's very different if you were to throw him into a game in, say, week 3 in the middle of September. He might look all right, half decent. But considering the circumstance with what was riding on the line and the environment and the weather, it's so hard to kind of, to analyze him and his performance when, it was, very, very, difficult circumstances. So, what I also
would say is I didn't agree with what Sean Payton did. I think he put too much, because of what he came out and he said Jared's going to be fine. He can live up to the expectation. Blah blah blah. I think he put too much pressure on knowing that again he's playing mind games. At the end of the day, he knew that Jared was probably not going to be able to perform to what he wanted to or say a Bo Nix or whatever the case may be. But I think he was playing a lot of mind games, and he knew what he was saying at the end of the day to try and strive him forward. But I think it's too much pressure for him.
I had a hard time to tell if he was playing freaking mind games, it was just a constant shit. So I don't know.
He's old school Belichick. The way
he is. He's the offensive version of Belichick. Let's put it that way. Running the ball, they only had 79 yards on the ground. Obviously, Jarrett Stidham ran for 23 yards. So let's just capture the running back. So RJ Harvey, 13 carries, 37 yards, 2.8 yards per carry. We did say that if J.K. Dobbins ain't playing in this game, this running game is going absolutely nowhere. And we ended up holding all their running ability of Harvey and McLaughlin because they are the two main backs after all. Although Tyler Baddy is also one as well. They held him to 52 yards rushing total, and there was a fullback in there who got 3 yards as well. So let's say 55 yards rushing total.
I think that was evident that yes, they missed J.K. Dobbins, who's their best back. But I think it's just evident that they do need to look at that position in the offseason because I think RJ Harvey can be a decent RB2, a spell back, someone who can do stuff out of the backfield, but they don't have a number one back to rely on him and McLaughlin.
Do you know who will be good in this offense with that offensive line? Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Breece Hall will be spot on for this. If they get Breece Hall, that offense is going to be very, very dangerous. Because we know how good Breece Hall is at running back when he was at the Jets anyway. They're not going to re-sign him back, even though they've got cap space, but still, he ain't going to go back there. At the passing game, Marvin Mims, apart from that 52-yard bomb he caught 12 yards. RJ Harvey caught 22 yards. Ingram 19. Cortland Sutton 17. Well done to, apart from the first couple of plays that Gonzo was on him for, he actually shut him down for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I thought Sutton was relatively quiet.
Yeah, little Jordan Humphrey 5 yards, Elijah Moore 4 yards, Pat Bryant 2 yards. He then went out with a hamstring injury, and Jalen McLaughlin 2 yards, 133 reception yards. Okay, they threw more than what we did, but we ran more. We ran for 141 yards.
Yeah.
So
and they were playing from behind, so they almost had to do it more.
Yeah, they had to. They generally had to. But listen. Overall, the celebrations were there in force. Robert Kraft spoke about how proud he is of this team, and if there's one thing outside that he loves more than his family is this team. He mentioned it in the AFC Championship speech. No, in the speech actually when he was on the podium. I love Mike Vrabel. When he's about to have a laugh and enjoy himself, he is so funny. He is absolutely. I wish I caught the sound bites in the locker room. I really do. But look, listen. Overall, New England, they are now marching into their 12th Super Bowl appearance. 12th, which is the most out of any franchise in NFL history. Drake May.
Just going back to like Sean Payton and stuff, because I saw the press conference, or it wasn't the press conference. I think it was with CBS, like around the locker room area. The guy looked very much broken to me, and he was very much gonna as in tears. Do you get the feeling that this could be his last? Could he might want to step down? How many years has he been now in Denver? Where is it, third, fourth year?
Sean Payton?
Sean Payton, yeah.
I don't think he's ready to give up yet.
No, I don't think so.
They
are so close to having a good run, right? And they lost Bo Nix, and you can argue whether Bo Nix would have changed things. Obviously, he's certainly more athletic, so they might have gone more design run game with him. But they are close. They've got the defense. They just need a few more pieces on that offense. Right. They are right there. So I can't see him now jacking it in when they are close to potentially, going all the way.
Maybe it was just that he was very much surprised that he lost. So
maybe, but I think he might have also been annoyed with himself that he essentially.
Put them in the situation.
But he took accountability for the decisions, and I think ultimately it did come back to bite them.
Yeah, eventually it did, but yeah.
Yeah, so 12 Super Bowl runs, Carl. Go on.
Okay, well, listen, we're in the Super Bowl now. I don't think we can be any more. We can't be any more happy. We generally can't. I mean, we weren't expecting to get this far.
No, this is just crazy that we're sitting here talking about being in the Super Bowl, like a year removed from us talking about drafting Will Campbell 4th overall after an absolutely dismal season.
And then having like a month off because we've got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what you said about Robert Kraft. He deserves an immense amount of credit for deciding to pull the trigger on Gerard Mayo after 1 year, because he could have looked at that and said, well, he's not really giving him a fair chance. He was thrown into a difficult situation. But obviously he wasn't ready. He made that decision. He's hired Mike Vrabel, and here we are a year later talking about playing a record 12th Super Bowl with a potential to win our 7th Lombardi. Like, we've just completely blown away in the expectations. And I know the schedule cretins have been vulturing round the last couple of days, and like at the end of the day, they can just get on with it, right? Like, if that's what they want to do, if the media want to fuel that narrative, then fine. Like, it's all good. Let them have their moment. But what I will say is, going the other way, we have beaten 3 of the top 5 defenses in the last 3 weeks, and some people are calling that a legendary run. Now, I think I wouldn't say it's a legendary run. I think Steve Palazzolo on the Check and Mike podcast said, I think it's somewhere in the middle, because like it's not like we've lit up these teams with elite offense, and we've just been far too good for them. So it's about finding the middle ground, right? We deserve to be where we are because of our defense, and we deserve the credit for winning those games that people have picked against us and said that we're frauds because of the schedule. But also, we'd had a soft run to get to the postseason, and then we've just had to dig in the postseason to get the win. So I don't think it's a legendary run, but it's also not a cakewalk either, because we have had to face and beat 3 of the top 5 defenses, and we're going to have to do it again in the Super Bowl, facing another top 5 defense in Seattle. So I think
we've only faced what's been put in front of us. We can't dictate.
It's not our fault at the end of the day. What do you expect us to do?
And people want to talk about the strength of schedule and that sort of thing. Okay, well, let's play it this way then. So we had the number 1 easiest strength of schedule, apparently, is what has been confirmed. Well, Buffalo had the number 2. They played 3. They had the same schedules as bar 3 different teams. We had the Titans, the Saints, and the Browns. They had the Chiefs, who they beat, who ended up finishing 6 and 11. They had the Ravens, who ended up finishing 8 and 9. And then when they played the Texans, who made the postseason, they lost 22-19. The thing is, what everyone would say though, Kieran, would be that put the ball in their court. Let's just say we didn't get in. Let's just say the Bills, they beat Denver last night in the AFC Championship. They go on to the Super Bowl. What will the narrative be? Oh, Josh Allen. Oh, he's the Superman. Oh, he's absolutely amazing. He's carried this team on his back. That will be the fucking narrative going into the Super Bowl regarding Josh Allen.
I think it's just...
Oh, it's the easy schedule. I mean, the next time, the next time I hear anyone say to anyone to me, oh yeah, you had an easy strength of schedule, I will shove one up their ass sideways, because I'm done with the crap now. I'm done with it now.
But the players are even referencing like that it's giving them motivation to prove a point, right? And I think both things can be true, right? That yes, we benefited from having a decent, favorable, easier schedule in the regular season. And we've had to grind out 3 real defensive performances in the playoffs, beating the Chargers, the Texans, and the Broncos all back to back. Yes, you can say we had an easy schedule, but it also can be true that we're a good team as well. It's not one or the other. So you don't get to the Super Bowl from being a bad team. If we'd have been completely like fraudulent during the regular season, we would have tripped up in one of these games, and we didn't. We've beaten all three of them. You can argue about the Chargers' offensive line, the turnovers in the Houston game, and Denver playing with a backup quarterback. But we've won with defense,
like that.
defense wins championships.
I really don't even see it. We came last year 4 fucking wins last year.
Yeah,
and we've now got Drake May, 23-year-old, Vrabel first year, McDaniels is back first year. And we've fucking gone to the Super Bowl. I mean, enough's enough. How much do we need to do to be able to credit this?
Yeah,
I'm really fucking getting wound up over this because let's not forget get fucked right now. I'm telling you.
Let's not
everyone
forget Zach.
Get fucked.
Apologies for everyone that's listening here. But you also got don't forget. Well, it is your podcast after all.
No, it's not mine. It's everyone's. We're trying to create an identity here, a culture that everyone likes.
What? You put me off my spot now. Zach Kerr. We can't forget Zach Kerr as well because he's been the signal play caller on defense and he's been phenomenal. You know, we wish Terrell Williams all the best. He is still on the sidelines during practice and that, but obviously he's dealing with his with his prostate cancer. Listen, I hope he does get better. I hope we do see him at training camp for the next coming season. But Zach Kerr, you've got to just look at the job that he has done. This is his first year as a DC play caller, and he has just not put a foot wrong.
I think Braves is very much taken that under stride as well. I'm not taking away anything that Kerr's done or anything like that, Kirk, but I do still think Braves is very much the mentor in what goes on in that defensive side until Terrell's fully back. Although I've heard rumors that he is still doing some things behind the scenes, but obviously he's not there at the sideline on the games or anything like that.
It could potentially be Vrabel being.
I do think it is
getting it.
Just sounds like Vrabes the way he does things.
I just want to make a point going back to what we were saying before about the cretins being, speaking out online. There is an immense level of entitlement surrounding logos, and I saw this point on social media earlier, and I could not agree more. Right, there are fans around the NFL that want to discredit everything we've done, that believe that the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Bills all have some divine entitlement to it be at this stage in the season. And because they're not here and we're beating other teams, then what we've done is lesser than what it would have been if they'd have been there. But one thing I will say about that is that logos only get you so far. You're looking at the Chiefs and the Ravens and the Bengals and whoever thinking they should have been the contenders. But the reality is that all three of them teams were shit this year, and that you've ended up with different teams in the playoffs as a result of that. That doesn't mean that the teams that have made it are any worse than them. It's just because the teams you'd expect to have got this far have not been as good, and they have failed this year. So stop expecting Kansas City and Baltimore to have some kind of divine entitlement because you want to lick Lamar Jackson's ass. Like, the guy was terrible this year and they haven't made the playoffs as a result. So, you don't have, there's no entitlement in the NFL. Just because you've been good in previous years or bad in previous years, it doesn't mean you're going to be good or bad the next year. We've been good this year. There have been expected contenders that have failed this year, and we've come out of, we've risen from the ashes like a phoenix. So
there's a thing.
If anyone that wants to discredit us and is currently crying that the fact that we're back in the Super Bowl because the evil empire is back, I'll tell you what, if we beat Seattle in 2 weeks, your tears are going to be used to polish that Lombardi.
I'm going to call out so many fuckers, and I'm going to be posting so much over the fucking, oh my God.
That might get.
It's going to be unreal. But there's one guy on fucking Discord kept saying, "Oh, doesn't it seem unreal that Mahomes is not here this year and now Patriots are back?" Get fucked. The Chiefs didn't even play, not even close to what they know.
There's an entitlement there. They think that they're just expected to be there, saying, but just because those teams aren't there, that every other team sucks. But they're the ones that suck because the Chiefs were awful this year, even with Mahomes there. So
even now, even today, people are saying like, "Oh, Seattle going to blow the Patriots by 20, by 10. It's not even going to be close."
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
Oh my God!
Listen,
here we go.
There's only two panelists I actually follow who actually do have a freaking a good like 150 IQ when it comes to freaking football. One of them is Colin Coward, and the other one is
Coward. I don't even fucking rate him.
Coward. No, Coward gets a lot of stuff right. And I would say the other one is Mike Floyer, but I know Kieran absolutely hates his guts, so it is what it is. But
I get that this Seattle team is completely different to what they were.
I think they're similar. I'll say this right now. We're not going to get into the preview till like some point next week. Which, by the way, we're going to try and get a lot of guests on to try and build up for that game as well, all throughout the week. That is basically Super Bowl week. We'll have a lot of plans to do for that one, by the way. But just as a little bit of a briefer for this one, I generally think us and Seattle are very, very similar. Our offensive lines are okay. They're not great. We have good receiving weapons. They've obviously got Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp, and we've obviously got Diggs and Kayshon Boutte and so on. The tight ends is borderline the same, you could really say. Do we really rate? Who's that? Do we rate?
Not like he was.
AJ Barner. He's not a bad season.
AJ Barner. We got Hunter Henry. You know, you got that as well.
Is he the tight end?
Yeah, you got the running backs as well. They got Kenneth Walker. Zach Charbonnet's now out. Thank God. But Kenneth Walker is basically a ball run.
This is basically I said to that guy that was chatting shit on the thing. I said, right, our gameplay will be Gonzo is on JSN. Jigba. Yeah. If we stuff the running game, who's to say that we can't control that game defensively?
We've got to make Sam Darnold going to see ghosts again. We got to see make sure Darnold sees ghosts again.
Yeah,
Darnold. He's going to be seeing ghosts.
Yeah,
welcome to the Jets again.
I would say that we're similar in the sense that both teams play extremely well complementary football. Like we're very balanced as teams, where we have the offense that can hurt you if you give us the opportunities. And both on the defensive side of the ball, we've got we play a complete team defense. Obviously, they have some big time players on the defensive side of the ball, as do we as well. It's going to be it's going to be a chess match, really. Defending JSN is not going to be easy at all. Kenny Walker's looked really, really sharp the last few games. So, but I can already see the excuses now. If we manage to eke out a win in this game, everyone's just going to say, "Oh yeah, but it's because Darnold's not an elite quarterback." And they were talking about him in the MVP conversation last season. So make your mind up.
He's got to where he's gotten to, any?
Yeah. He's got to the Super Bowl. He's actually overcome his own demons when he failed in Minnesota.
If we pick off Darnold 3 times in the Super Bowl and we win with defense, everyone's just going to say, well, Darnold shat the bed like CJ Stroud, and that's why they won. Like they played against a fraudulent quarterback or whatever. But it isn't going to be the case.
Defense wins championships. The old saying. And this just reminds me of 2001. This just reminds me of we were very good offensively in the regular season. Come the postseason, it was all that defense. The Tuttle game, Brady had a shocker. Brady had an absolute shocker in that game. But the defense won that game for us.
What I will say is, though, defense can continue to play the way they are, but offensively, I think we still need that little touch of extra.
Drake May's got no excuses into
what we've done in the last 2 is not sufficient enough to beat, in my opinion, to beat this Seattle team. We're going to need to get a 28 plus points, I think.
Drake May needs
to step up, definitely.
It's a step up, but I think it's going to be it'll be a good battle.
Again, it's weather conditions that could play into a factor the last 2 games that we've played. Now we're into that situation, but we'll then.
I'm expecting a big game from Stephon Diggs. You can see the emotion coming out of him after the game, how much it means to him, how motivated he's going to be. You saw him in that Sunday night game against Buffalo, where he was just like on an absolute tear. I have a funny feeling we're going to see exactly the same thing in this game, where he's going to have like 10 receptions and he's just going to be like absolutely desperate to try and win a ring. We need the offense to step up. Drake's going to have to play a lot better. This is still a very good defense. I don't think their pass rush is as good as the 3 teams we've just played, but I would say that their secondary is certainly a lot stronger than the Chargers. And and maybe Denver as a whole. You know, Surtain's a fantastic player, but like I think overall with what they've got with Woolen, with Witherspoon, with Eman-Warry, with Love, like it's an outstanding secondary. So you know, we're going to have to maybe attack the middle of the field. And I certainly think, you know, from a defensive standpoint, we can get to Darnold. Carl, you made the point about their offensive line. Like I think particularly up the middle, we can get a lot of pressure against them guards. I think they're okay at tackle, but they're weak up the middle. So yeah, look, there is strengths and places to attack both teams. I think it's going to be a real chess match. I don't buy into anyone saying it's going to be a blowout. I just don't see that being the case.
Dougie said there. Make Darnold make the throws, make the mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, if anybody watched the NFC Championship game, Kenneth Walker was running for days. He was running for days. So
yeah,
that's going to be only doing that first half. I thought in the second half, from what I saw from the stats, I think he dropped a bit. He wasn't as effective, or he was in the first half. Or am I chatting shit right now?
I texted my mates last night and said, "Oh, Walker's looking crisp."
Oh my God, it's fucking oh wow. I just got only Nick comes out with that shit, and now you just
you come up with that shit, and I have to reject.
Nah. Nick normally comes out with that shit. What I will say, and one player that I do feel very, very, very sorry for is Davante Adams from the Rams.
Yes.
I thought he's lost 5 championship games. Huh? He's lost 5 conference championship games. Yeah,
he was crying after the thing. He was in bits.
Poor bloke can't.
Which I think he could be coming to the end of his career as well. I mean, how old is he now? 34.
Yeah, he's going to be a first. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think there's no argument about that. He will be, but he'll be back in that list of players again that have first ballot Hall of Famers, but never won a ring. Hopkins as well. That's gonna sting. That's gonna sting badly. But anyway, listen, we've got more of a build up coming up.
Yep.
Kieran, I know you and I usually do like a preview show on Friday, but since we have no game, I did have something in mind.
Right.
There's something that we haven't done the last 2 seasons because we finished 4-13 and no one deserves an award. But since we're in the Super Bowl, how about we do end of season awards?
Yearly award.
Why not?
How about we do end of season award? Either this Friday or either Friday or Saturday.
Do we have anyone in mind for the Seattle or
12-man podcast?
UK groups out there.
12-man podcast. They're British. They're UK affiliated. I will get in touch with them at some point. So yeah. No, we'll got to speak to them, but that'll be further down the line. And
can I just mention something quite funny off the completely unrelated to this as we come towards the end of the podcast? Did you guys see? No, it's not that. Did you guys see Diego Pavia? You know, the college prospect, the quarterback from Vanderbilt, who
the one that's going to go undrafted.
Well, potentially, but I think there's enough talent there. But anyway. Had a really good season at Vanderbilt, you know, projected as like a late round pick. But he measured in today at the Senior Bowl and he was listed at 6 foot and his official measurement came back as 5'9" and 7/8. So there has been a massive mismeasurement and he's now gone to the Senior Bowl and found out he's 5'9".
I told you he's going to go undrafted for 2 reasons. A, because of his height, and B, because he's a fucking knobhead.
I like him. Funny enough, I actually done his tape today and I wrote my piece on him. And there's definitely some bits you like, but I think obviously that, you know, he was already going to get dinged for his age and his height anyway. And perhaps even his arm. But like to be 5'9", I don't know, that makes things incredibly difficult, doesn't it? I think I think there's enough talent to make him draftable, and you might see someone take a flyer on him in like the 7th round. But like, do we know it? There's no other quarterbacks that have even been remotely close to that size. I mean, Kyler Murray's even still 5'11". Like,
but he has got a good arm on him, and he runs and he's got the running speed of a flipping toddler who's stolen your mobile phone. So, but it's weird. It's weird. But anyway, right, we are going to get on out of it, guys. Well, Super Bowl bound. Next Sunday, we have the Super Bowl. We have got a lot of building up to go on. Either this Friday or Saturday, we will be doing our end of season awards, and we'll come across some good awards. You know, obviously, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie Player of the Year, Underrated Player of the Year. That's going to be a good one to try and figure out. And you know, Play of the Year, and so on. So we've got a lot of work to do on that one. And obviously, next week it will be Super Bowl build-up week, where we will have a guest on for the Seattle Seahawks. Might try and get a celebrity profile that Nick has sent me the email details of. Will we get this guy? I've got no idea. But, you know, it's a stab in the dark. We'll give it a shot. And, yeah, so the build-up for next week is going to be amazing. Everyone's going to be on standby. And we're Super Bowl bound. One last thing we'll do before we get on out of here as well. Just if everybody was here at the beginning of the show, remember the New England Patriots UK fan club. They are doing their Super Bowl party at the Station Master at Marylebone in London. Tickets are on sale now for £20. Go over to their email, which is patsonlondon@gmail.com. For your inquiries. And obviously, yeah, it'll be a crazy night. Some of us will be going there as well. So it'll be a good night. And yeah, the link for it's on the Facebook. So make sure you click the links in the description below. And yeah, go and get your tickets. Right, gentlemen. Thank you so much. What a season it's been. But we've got one more game to go. And it's the biggest one of the lot. And I tell you what, if we do win this Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time, we are going to be the most insufferable bastards on the planet. And guess what? I put it in the description earlier. In the words of Conner McGregor, I'd like to apologise to absolutely nobody.
Like I said, if the crying continues, those tears are going to look great polishing our Lombardi.
Yep. Warriors.
We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we need.
Go Patriots. We'll see you on the next episode, guys.